So what I have here is the standard P10C. This is going to be my personal P10C, which is of course heavily modified, and I will use this to talk about some of the changes on the new P10 ported as well. So first thing to talk about is the barrel on the new P10 ported is going to be 10% heavier. Beefed up the new barrel and cut a pretty wide port in the top of it. And they added a crown. That way, if you drop your barrel on the gravel or something, it doesn't damage the interior part of the barrel. They also added top slide serrations. The unfortunate part is on the ported model, there's top serrations, but this part right here is still smooth. This front sight is moved to the rear a bit, and it's going to be dovetailed in instead of the typical way that they do it from the front. The new P10C ported is going to have the exact same style optic mounting system. You still have to get a plate on your own to be able to mount an optic. Instead of having more shallow cuts here in the slide, they're going to be a couple fewer, and they're going to be a little bit deeper, so they're a little bit more grippy. And the new P10 ported option is going to have a loaded chamber indicator right here, whereas this one does not. Some things that were not changed were the OEM grip texture and the trigger. So the trigger that comes on this typically is going to have a shoe that after a couple hundred rounds gets a little obnoxious. This one from HBI, their shoe goes completely flat where you don't feel any kind of bump against that trigger surface. As far as the grip goes, a lot of people complain about two things on the grip. One is that the back is too aggressive, and people also say that the sides don't have enough texture. So either these are too shallow, which they are kind of shallow, and that the texture doesn't go all the way up here like they would like to see. The P10C ported is still going to utilize the same mag release that's swappable from left to right, which also uses the magazines with the 2-slot system. They also come with 2 extended base plates that hold 2 extra rounds. But these ports are the main idea here. So I have a V10 porting system on this gun, and that's going to dramatically reduce recoil. I would say it would make a bigger difference than the single port that is on the new P10 optic ready ported version. This V10 type porting is going to be the softest feeling recoil that I've felt on pretty much anything. Compensators also work very well, but typically feel a little bit more snappy, but they return to 0 instantly. The porting just rises slightly, and you don't feel a lot of recoil at all. The Springfield Echelon comp has an actual kind of compensated area around the front of the barrel. Inside that muzzle, that chamber area, it is hollowed out to redirect the gases upward. The P10 is not hollowed out to make it actually like a comp in the barrel. If all they're doing is cutting that hole in the barrel, then it's not going to do nearly as much as actually building a comp into the front of the barrel. So my personal opinion is going to be that the P10, the way that it was designed, is going to be similar to the Carry Comp and the Canik Mete Prime that a lot of people have been disappointed about because it doesn't reduce recoil enough. Will it be noticeable compared to the standard P10C like this one? Absolutely. The bull barrel and the porting of the barrel is going to make it feel a lot better. Would it be better than something like this, or let's say a P10 with a dedicated comp or radiant afterburner or something on there? No. Something like this, where it's ported by another company or a comp is added to the end of the barrel, is going to give you more recoil reduction and a more pleasant recoil feel.